Alright, so, as you may know from the previous episode, we unlocked some level 3 spoilers, and well, I've basically replaced my Duotech spoiler now with the Backdraft spoiler, because just look at how big this wing is. I mean, this wing, compared to lots of others, it actually looks quite massive. And I figured, well, because it's a big wing, I figured it would be worth it for me to put on the big wing. It was also quite close between that and the Warhawk, but I decided to go with this one just because of how big it was. And these are the other wings we got. So we got Trevo, Carbon X, Downforce, Aluminum GT, Boomerang, Hammerhead, Marco, Inferno, Supernova, and Warhawk. So that's the wing we've chosen, and now I'm going to save the game before we move on, because I don't want to lose any of my progress. I've already taken a picture of this thing, and also got a picture of this thing with my new wing, and let's now get on with our next 4 events. Starting with Kurt's Killer Ride.
Oh, look out! I got boost now, punk! You are so history!
No one on the street has beaten Kurt's new ride so far. Make sure you're the first. I will. If he's driving a Honda S2000 like Chad was, I can assure you I will beat him. Or whatever car it is he has. I don't think he is invincible. I'm also pretty sure my Honda has served me well. Oh, he's in the Mazda. Okay, well that makes things a little easier for me. So we've got 2 Mazda RX-7s and 2 Hondas. I am very unhappy right now. Knowing that it's literally me who has to pay the price of just being a victim of circumstances, and yet the AI are hardly even getting any of the damage I think they should be receiving compared to what it is I've been receiving, because I'm not gonna lie, this race, it's pretty fucking hard. And it is becoming blatantly obvious now that this race is only gonna come to me if I don't get involved in as many accidents as I have been getting involved in. Even though a lot of them have not necessarily been through any fault of my own. They've just been circumstances that have decided to just basically run straight into me and basically overcome my body like a pile of rocks. In other words, it feels like every time I actually get a good run going, the game always has to put me under a rock slide. And I've really been trying my hardest to avoid that rock slide. But again, it's just making me feel like at this stage, like I'm trying to prevent the inevitable, but I always know at the end of the day, when something big does happen, it's impossible to avoid the inevitable. It's almost like when you're trying to avoid the big one at Daytona, Unless you're on one side of the track where the accident isn't occurring, it's almost impossible to avoid the melee unless you're well away from it. And that's kind of what's been happening here. In other words, I've just been involved in some very huge accidents that I've had literally no way of preventing. Some of them have been self-inflicted, but most of them have just been what the game is literally throwing at me. And it's because of that that I just don't feel like this race is going to come to me unless I get involved in the least possible accidents imaginable. But even then, I know that is enough of an hellacious task. Because even though there are parts of the road where the traffic isn't present, it's just not possible to avoid the traffic. Unless you can somehow manage to watch your opponent get involved in an accident, and then you somehow don't get involved. Oh, shit. Okay. It's alright. It's fine. I'm back in the lead once again. That was an incident and a half, but thankfully I did at least manage to skate my way through. And now we just have 2 laps to go. Can I manage to win it this time? Considering this is already my second attempt with the Honda Integra. Probably the best car I can use to best the S2000. Unless I switch over to the Mazda RX-7, but I don't have any plans on doing that right now because I really want to make sure that this race is mine. And that's basically what I'm here to do. So, whatever happens in that last corner, I need to make sure a vehicle is not there again. On this lap or the next lap, because I need to make sure I actually go around the corner this time. Okay, well, I guess that also works. And almost hitting that SUV, but just easing off to narrowly avoid fucking myself again. And I've been getting through this section of the track a lot more smoother than I was before because I've actually been doing pretty well, considering everything that's already transpired up to this stage of the event. And the S2K is now right behind me again. I'm really going to have to make sure I nail the shortcut here if I'm going to beat him. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, I'm through. Okay, providing there's no more cars through the corner. Okay, that's okay. Alright. Got there eventually. Fucking 42 minutes later. I did have to switch over to the Integra to get it done, but I did win Kurt's killer ride, and Kurt came home third, with Amy fourth. I just needed a car that was better balanced than the S2K for me to pull it off. And that's precisely what I did. Hey, we've now got another body vinyl. And we've got another 1200 credits in our bank. Well, got there eventually. Although that's not to say I haven't made some good progress today, because I've now done 5 events. And now we get to do another time trial. I'm gonna switch back to the S2000 for this one. Or move over to the Mazda. Actually, you know what? No, I'll go back to the S2000 for this. Just to see how it does. Figure this thing might actually help me. So I'm back in the S2000 once again for our next event. Took me a second attempt with the Integra to get the win, but I did get there eventually and I beat the S2K. And now let's get on with our next time trial, mods to the max.
Whoa, the scene's best driver coming to visit my garage. Oh, it's only you. I crack myself up.
You should know the drill by now. Get to TJ in under 1 minute 57, and he will trick your ride out some more. I know precisely what upgrade it is I'm going to be going for here. But the only question is, do you? Because the choice might surprise you if you don't. Just had to take off my hoodie there for a second. A little slow off the line, but again, just because the start is slow doesn't mean the rest of the run is going to be decided under the circumstances. You know, I really am starting to get the distinct feeling that the best car I can use for this might be the Mazda RX-7, because of just how very acceleration oriented this time trial appears to be. At least it's what I think it is, but at least I can say this car is fast. And I did already swap it out once for the Integra in that previous event I did. But we'll wait and see. Although right now, of course, things are actually going pretty well. And so we continue, hoping to achieve something that might actually work. Well, we're looking good so far, so maybe, if it's possible, I can actually put together something good. And I do, with dead on 5 seconds to spare. Or just under 5 seconds to spare. Just needed to put together a consistent run and then it was there. Alright, let's get our unique upgrade.
Alright, here's another upgrade. You're winning, but don't forget the help you're getting from me.
I won't forget the help I'm getting from you, TJ. Well, just because it improves the acceleration, I'll put on the nitrous. Yeah, let's go with the nitrous, just because I figured this might be what I need. Took me a few reloads to do it, but eventually I did get there. Of course I could have restarted, but I chose not to. But anyway, alright, so what have we got next? Okay, so we've got a drag race, a circuit race, and a sprint race. You know what? I'm gonna do the drag race, and then the circuit race. And then as for the sprint race, well, I'll leave that for the next one. Number 2's gotta happen if you want a shot at being the champ on the straight. Good thing I saved the game before going into this, so I know precisely what to do now. I'm also going to consider switching to the unique finals once I'm done with this episode, because I have a feeling this is going to be pretty tricky, but we'll wait and see. My car does not like going in the air. Oh no you don't. You ain't beating me this time, damn it. Come on, come on. Made it. I just had to switch to the 350Z. So I beat Brett to the line by just under 4/10. Woo finished in 3rd, and it was Hector who came home last. Well then. You know, I might actually consider sticking with the 350Z for now. See if it manages to help me in any way. And we've got another circuit race. And after that it's a sprint race. Circuit Dustoff. I'm going to save the game now and make sure I stick with this car for this next event. We'll see what happens. All that stands between you and the next ranking are 3 punks, 6 laps, and a whole lot of horsepower. Let's see how we go. I've now just been recording this for an hour now, in case if you want me to tell you what I've noticed. Hello, old friend. How are you doing? Okay, so I've gone back to the S2000 now because, well, I've just decided the 350Z is not as impressive as I think it should be. So, I've gone back to the S2000 now because, well, I probably should have just stuck with what worked before. And that's basically what I'm doing now, because, well, as you can see already, I am building up a margin, and I've also got some speed. So I think it's fair to say this car is clearly better than the 350Z. Well, at least I can say I wasn't the only one who became a victim of the bridge, because the AI also wrecked themselves in the bridge, which helps me to maintain my lead. Yeah, this car is clearly the best choice for this circuit, there's no question about that. This car, I think, is clearly the best of the bunch for a track like this. And even though I hit the bridge, I still managed to post a new best lap time, which is interesting. But anyway. We continue. And we move on. And so we begin to pull away. And pull away is what we are doing right now. Gonna ease off for the bridge. Don't want to go straight into one of the poles again. And it looks as though this time I may be able to win this race, considering I did have to reload the game to switch back to the S2000. But either way, we all know precisely what the best car is, and that is clearly this. So at the moment, all is well, and hopefully I can keep it well. Because whoever is behind me is closing over to the RX-7. Okay. Can't really seem to get through that bridge section very well, but again, I don't think that really matters too much because I seem to be doing better through the other parts of the lap, which at this stage at least are helping me stay ahead. And the other S2000 is currently well behind the rest of us. I don't think I'm going to overlap him, but he's definitely well behind the rest of us, at least compared to where Amy and Sparks are currently running. I can definitely say I picked a good car for this. And at the moment, well, the results are speaking for themselves. Because I am currently still leading here, and I'm also staying ahead of Amy. She does not opt to take the shortcut, so that now leaves me out in the lead. She takes another shortcut that's not going to work for her. And as I come off the final corner, and there we go, I win! On my first attempt with the S2000, while the other one came home last. So Amy was second, and it was Sparks who finished third in the Nissan 350Z. Whew, good race. Once I switched back to the Honda, that was a good race. And next up we've got ourselves a sprint race. So let's have a look at our rankings now. So up to second in the circuit rankings, still third in the sprint, second in the drag rankings, and still third in the drift rankings. Okay. So I'm still P3 in 2 of those ladders, but also P2 in the other 2 ladders. Also, we've done nearly 100 events in this game. So that just goes to show how far we've come. So, gonna save the game now, so I don't lose track of my progress. And there we go. Another event is done. And next time, we will be starting with a sprint race, coming in the next episode of Underground.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.